I think you have to say that they deserve to be co-favorites with the Packers for the simple fact that they have figured out how to win in spite of having that explosive offensive attack that they've had in the last few years of Patrick Mahomes being the guy. They have learned how to win without blowing teams out. And I think that makes them more of a dangerous team than what they've been with the type of offenses that they've had in years past. Why? Because now you're leaning on things that you've not leaned on before. You're leaning on your defense to be a little bit more dominant, a little bit more assertive than what they've had to be, and they have been. You're looking at the offense, and the offense has to be, aware of the fact that, maybe we don't need to win the game. We just got to make sure we don't lose it. So now, with all of the firepower that they have on that offensive side of the ball, to move forward with the understanding and the mindset that we actually don't have to be an offensive juggernaut to win every single game, I think gives them that edge that they need moving into the playoffs, that maybe in years past, if they don't bring an offensive A game, they're going home, whereas now they're more of a complete team if you're thinking about it in terms of all three phases: offense, defense, and special teams, Nick.
That's right. This is why I said a couple weeks ago this is the most dangerous Chiefs team ever, because they can beat you in so many different ways. And so, do the Chiefs deserve to be Super Bowl co-favorites? The answer to that question is no. They deserve to be the standalone prohibitive favorites, because the most surefire thing we know about this NFL season remaining is who's coming out of the AFC. The reason the Chiefs should be significant favorites above Green Bay to win the Super Bowl is because they're such a bigger favorite than Green Bay to get there. If we are ranking the best teams in football, you have the Chiefs, and then you have what? 4 NFC teams before you list the next AFC team? And who is the next AFC team? It's not the Patriots after what we saw this weekend. It's certainly not the Titans. Is it the Colts? Is it the Chargers? 2 teams that look really dangerous right now, but also are not even assured to be in the playoffs. So, while the Chiefs' path could not be better, they are right now the inside track for the 1 seed and could damn near lock it up this weekend if the Bills beat the Patriots and the Titans lose to I think they're playing the Niners. And so, I'm not sitting here saying the Chiefs are demonstrably better than Green Bay. I don't think they necessarily are. But they are so much demonstrably better than everyone else in the AFC that they deserve to be the standalone favorites, because they are so clearly on the inside track to getting back to the Super Bowl. Meanwhile, Green Bay's got a lot of work to do because the NFC is so much stronger at the top.
Okay. I'm a few corrections there, America. And you're asking who's the second best team in the AFC. Certainly not the Patriots. By certainly not the Patriots, the actual answer is obviously and definitely the Patriots, when we showed a graphic with the big number 2 and then the Patriots. Look, we have a big game against the Bills, so it's not necessarily a guarantee that we stay there, but we are obviously the second best team in the AFC. And I don't see any evidence that the Chiefs are demonstrably and far away better than all the other teams in the AFC. I just don't. And here's why. And this goes back to something Andy Reid said. Andy Reid said, you got to develop your own personality. Every team is different every year. You can't worry about the expectations, all that stuff. That was when the Chiefs were kind of in the middle of the road. So now the Chiefs have sort of straightened the ship out. But Broussard, here's the interesting thing, and every Chiefs fan knows this because it's just a fact. The Patrick Mahomes of old that used to strike fear in the hearts of every team in the NFL, instead of doing that for the whole game, does it occasionally. We saw it in the fourth quarter and overtime of the game against the Chargers. But here are the facts. It's his worst completion percentage of his career. Not by a lot, just by a little. It's the worst passing yards per game. He's got the most interceptions already. He's got the lowest passer rating, and the team is putting up the lowest points. So it's a good spin, Broussard. It's like, well, because the defense is playing well and Patrick Mahomes is playing pretty good, that makes them dangerous. I guess I also think that every Kansas City Chiefs fan would rather have Patrick Mahomes from either of the last 2 years. So he's still struggling. He's still a little bit inconsistent. And maybe it's unfair that I'm comparing him from the Patrick Mahomes of old. But if we're going to say that this guy is the rightful heir to Tom Brady's throne, then I think it's say, okay, we can point out that the guy has regressed this year, or Broussard, the league has figured him out.
Okay, look, I rarely say this on this show, but both you guys, Nick and Wilds, you made good points. I've said, like Nick Wilds, that I think this could be the most dangerous team in the Patrick Mahomes era because of their balance and some of the things that LaVar pointed out, knowing how to win ugly and things like this. Obviously, the defense is better. But you are right, Wilds, and I bet Nick would fall into this category too. Every Chiefs fan would probably rather have the Chiefs from the last couple years, where it was a light show and Patrick Mahomes was putting up 30 numbers in every game over what they have now. Okay, you said no. Okay.
No.
But you made a good argument, Nick. You made a good argument about the AFC versus the NFC. So I'll give you that. Wilds, I like the Patriots like you, but no. The Chiefs are clearly the class of the AFC. Is it guaranteed they come out? Not necessarily. It's not guaranteed, but they are the definitive favorite in their conference. And you're right, Nick. Green Bay, while the favorite, it's going to be tough for them to get out of the NFC. That said, I think, Nick, Green Bay, if you're looking at it objectively, they would have to be the favorite right now. Just because they've played the best football over the 15 weeks, take out the first week, obviously, but over the last 14 weeks of every team in the league. They got a top 10 defense. They got Aaron Rodgers playing as well as he ever has and as well as anybody in the league is playing. They got two strong running backs. They've got the best wins they got better wins than the Chiefs. What they got? Pittsburgh, San Francisco, Cincinnati, Baltimore, Arizona, the Rams. I mean, they got some great wins, and I would say they should be the co-favorites because one AFC, one NFC, LaVar. But I think the Packers right now are playing the best football in the league.
Yeah, they are. They are playing the best football, and I don't agree with the Packers are going to have the harder time out of the two teams to make it to the Super Bowl. I mean, I think Tampa Bay took a step back losing Chris Godwin for the season. Shouts out, much love, respect to baby boy. I don't know with the health concerns. How will Leonard Fournette be the rest of the way? How will Mike Evans be the rest of the way? These are injuries of significance because we're late in the season. So when you look at teams out of the NFC, you got to say Dallas and Arizona are the two most dangerous teams to what Green Bay is trying to do. Maybe LA starts to establish themselves. We'll see what they do tonight.
Rams, yeah.
But yeah. So but maybe not. They've been inconsistent. The Arizona Cardinals, inconsistent. Only consistent in late season meltdown. The Cowboys, they're intriguing, but correct. I don't trust it all the way. So I look at Green Bay as having a better opportunity. I really do. And then when you look on the AFC side of it, go ahead, Nick. Go ahead.
No, I was just going to add, I think the Niners are dangerous. I think the Niners and Colts are the two teams this year, and I know you love the Colts, that absolutely, even if they have to go on the road, can cause damage. I think most people love everything about those teams except for the two quarterbacks, and you feel like if they can overcome those. But just to Wilds' point about the worst year from Mahomes, Wilds, if we took the first four paintings Vincent Van Gogh made and then said, pick out the worst one, and then you compared it to some kid's finger painting, even if it's Van Gogh's worst, it's still going to be a little better than the preschooler with the finger paint. And that's right now Mahomes versus the AFC quarterback field. I'm just curious, if we showed the AFC playoff picture again, aside from Herbert, who's the quarterback? You got Mac Jones, who's got green paint on his nose. Look at me, Daddy. Look, you got Ryan Tannehill, who just gave a game away to the Steelers. You got Lamar, who's hurt. You got Josh Allen, who's trying to play his way out of things. You got Carson Wentz, who they let through that 5 completions. So yeah, it is his worst year, and it's still so much better than anybody else has out there that it's not really a question, Jenna.
Thanks for watching. Subscribe here to get the latest from the show. Also, be sure to check out more of the best clips from First Things First, or go watch a few segments from our other shows on FS1.